welcome back to my channel. Today we are diving into another self-love episode, and this is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be kind of a little chit-chat experience type thing, just kind of talking over things. Yeah, but without further ado, let's get into it. So if you don't already know, I have a self-love series going on for the whole month of February, where I post every Tuesday and Thursday, and I am just sharing different videos about self-love and self-care that I give to myself and giving love to others who may need it most. And because it's a hard time with COVID, and we aren't really getting to see the loved ones that we want to, and we are just, it's a hard time. It's a hard time right now, and February isn't always the best month for everyone. It can be that middle of the winter slump depending on where you are, and sometimes you may not like Valentine's Day, or for whatever reason that may not be your thing. So this is where we're at. So I decided to create this series to spread some love to you guys and share how I give myself self-love and self-care, because this isn't always the best time for me either. So today, now with all that being said, today I am sharing my fitness routine and giving self-love to my body, and doing things that make myself feel good and feeling my body as it should be. So this has been a big struggle for me for years. I have had not an issue with food, but I've had a very interesting relationship with food for as long as I can remember. If you may or may not know, I love sweets, like to death. And as a kid, I would snack because I'm bored. And I didn't really realize that so much until I got to college, and I am paying for my own things, really understanding how much I consume as a human and how often. So it became very apparent to me when I was a freshman, because I did competitive dance in high school, I was in theater shows, I was playing tennis, I was doing so many things, so I was constantly burning off calories when I was in high school, so I really didn't notice it. And I mean, as a kid I kind of did, but as a kid you don't really notice much. Let's be honest here. But once I got to college and I wasn't dancing as much that first semester of my freshman year, I gained a lot of weight. I definitely gained that freshman 15, and I really wasn't understanding what was happening, and I wasn't really in tune to work out. I always hated going to the weight room when I was in tennis in high school. I was just like, well, let's just play. Like, why are we doing this? Let's just play. And that was definitely my mentality. And for dance, I was just like, let's just push through this thing to get to the finish line. I was never someone who really understood the strength training part of it. Definitely has changed now. But after that freshman year and doing more research, diving into a lot of diets, diving into a lot of different things, and even to this point, I've had my own struggles of eating when I'm bored. I've done running, I've done dance, I've tapped with a professional tap company, I've done a lot of different things, basically is what I'm saying. So I've had a lot of different struggles with food and my relationship with food. And really in COVID has made me kind of go back to my old habits, because it's easy. And we aren't really doing as much. We aren't really moving around as much, and the gym was closed, and then it got cold, and then we had to stay inside. So there are a lot of different barriers that then I put in my brain and on myself to not continue to fuel my body as I should and move as my body needs it. Because I have a dancer background, and if I don't stretch often, my body starts to not function well. And if any dancers are out there, they kind of know, you know the feeling, like everything just feels all stiff and you just feel gross. And I've definitely been trying to add that into my routine as well. So basically all of this to say is, because of COVID, because of our restrictions on exercise and going to public spaces to work out, when I did have that routine and I had the routine of eating and working out and all this stuff, now that's kind of hit the hard brakes and I have to figure out a new routine. So I'm gonna take you along kind of my process, and I'm gonna show you different clips of different things of what I've discovered this month of trying to give myself a better routine and a better kind of overall system of fueling my body and giving myself the nutrients I need to be healthy and make my body feel good. So, and this is kind of like, and of course once the gym's open again and it's more safe, like, I mean, our gym is open, but I don't feel comfortable going in there, and I've had a lot of different breathing things. I have allergies, I have lots of different things that I don't want to be doing hard-hitting exercises in a mask. That honestly makes me so scared and claustrophobic, but I will ride a roller coaster with a mask. But I think it's because I'm not doing anything, I'm just kind of sitting there. It's when I'm doing the hard-hitting workouts that I'm sweating and everything's getting in here and it's making me extremely nervous. So that is why I'm waiting until it's not necessary to wear a mask, or it's safe to not wear a mask, or if I have a vaccine, or basically when the CDC says I don't have to wear a mask, then that's when I'll go back to the gym. Because I'm still gonna follow the rules, but I'm not gonna put myself in situations where I know I will do better without a mask and make other people in danger, basically is what I'm saying. And I'm not going to change the rules just because of me, because I find that dumb. So anyway, so because of all of COVID and everything, I've had to really change around what my movement and workout style looks like. I used to run a lot more. I used to run on the treadmill. I used to lift weights. I used to do all those things. And that's really not happened. And I have experimented with watching YouTube videos and following around with fitness routines. I happen to live on the 3rd floor of an apartment building. I don't want to disturb my neighbors down below. So that has kind of been nixed, and I've tried that and I don't really stick to that. So I found that having consistent routines and just doing something every day of some sort of movement helps. So I've started every morning getting up and going for a walk. I take a mask with me, and because I do run into people, and I make sure to put my mask on, and wearing them and walking and doing that exercise, it obviously is fine in a mask, but it helps get my mind moving, makes me wake up, helps move my body before I start work, which is a great way for me to start. And I tend to listen to a lot of podcasts, and it just gets me moving. It gets my body moving. I'm not necessarily burning a ton of calories, but it's getting my body moving. I also go to the parks a lot, and I walk around the parks, and that tends to burn a lot of calories just because of how much walking you're doing. And so it's kind of a blessing in disguise that there's no trams right now from the parking lot, from your parking spot to either the front of the park or the monorail to get to Magic Kingdom, or the ferry boat or whatever you use. It's kind of a blessing in disguise because it's actually making me walk more. And I've been really enjoying that. At first I was not so keen on it, but now I'm really enjoying it because it gives me a lot more opportunity to walk and move my body. And I'm really in the mindset right now of just trying to fuel my body and give it movement and give it nourishment that it needs. I would love to go back to my routine of lifting weights and doing more hard-hitting workouts, but it's just not the time. So I'm doing what I can, and I'm giving love how I can. So every morning I go for a walk, and then I also make myself a nutritious breakfast. I have been doing avocado toast and an egg, which actually has been really nice. It gives me enough nourishment throughout my day because I do a job that's very stimulating mind-wise. Not that my graphic design jobs weren't, but this one, I am on the phone talking to clients, having constantly doing multitasking tasks that use a lot of brain power so my breakfast fuels me through to my lunch. And I eat at weird schedules because my schedule for work is really weird. So I have to make sure that I keep myself fueled throughout the day. Then I have a standing desk, which definitely helps me stand. I try to stand at least halfway through the day. I know my body can't do as much standing as it used to, just because like I spent most of quarantine sitting. And also I have an ankle that I sprained in tennis years and years ago that has always been coming back to bite me. So I've been trying more and more to wear an ankle brace when I stand, especially at my desk, and anytime I can, at least a couple times a week, as well as icing my ankle after my walks, or if I decide to be ambitious and run that day, as well as trying to strengthen that ankle. And this is where it's getting into the strengthening. And that's why I was really enjoying workouts and weightlifting, because it was a constant strengthening and each day was different, which made it really exciting. And it made it exciting to see like, oh, what can I do the next day that I worked out? Anyways, so then for lunch, I've been meal prepping, which has been honestly really fun, a little exhausting, but really fun. I have found to do kind of like a simple meal for myself, but with enough nutrients that it's gonna keep me full until I clock out, and then I can make dinner. So what that looks like is I have rice, I have sweet potatoes that I've roasted, as well as broccoli. And that may sound kind of boring, but it honestly is so good. I love sweet potatoes so much. And I used to have this kind of bento box type of thing when I was working at Kohl's a million years ago. Not a million years ago, what? That was like 3 years ago, maybe? Wow, I feel old. Anyway, I used to make these meal prep boxes with a hard-boiled egg, broccoli, and sweet potatoes, and I loved it. I love that so much. But since I have an egg in the morning, I didn't want to do double egg. I feel like that's a lot. So having it on rice is really good and gives me that starch that I need to help me fuel throughout the rest of the day. So then I'll go through the rest of my day and then have dinner as normal. And then before I go to bed, I make sure to stretch. And this may sound weird to people, but I used to do that in college so much because there used to be so much time that I had to take for all these other things that my only time to stretch was before bed. And that tends to really help my brain and myself to go to sleep, because then my body is all loose, my muscles are all stretched out, and they're ready to just go to sleep. And then I tend to have my best sleeps when I have like really deep stretch sessions. And that just tends to relax me and wind me down enough that I can go to bed. And I also have been trying really hard to not use my phone when I'm going to bed, or like right before I fall asleep. I try to read, do a combination of reading and stretching, and then that kind of winds myself down, which then gives my body enough to just calm down, wind down, and go to sleep and have a nice sleep. Because sleep is so, so important, especially with your own body health and mental health, that it just makes it so much better. So that's kind of what I've found works best for me. I mean, this has changed throughout all of quarantine, on and off. I've done so many different things. I've tried so many different recipes. I've done all the things. If you tell me one thing, I bet you I can tell you I've tried it in some capacity or another. But I found this works best. Doing my morning walks and listening to several different podcasts, because I listen to a ton of podcasts. So if you have any recommendations, let me know. And I think that's just the best for me. And that's just the best that I've found that works. And I am definitely going to have another video in this series dealing with mental health and trying out different tips and tricks that I either find on the internet, I find on TikTok. I'm just gonna try a bunch of different things because I feel like my mental health is like, especially right now, especially because I haven't seen my parents or my sister by the time this comes out, I haven't seen them in over a year. And I won't see them until the spring. That is what we have slated at this moment. So, I mean, kind of COVID depending, but I'm planning on driving home at that point. So that's kind of where that's slated. So anyway, I digress. I'm going to have another video talking about mental health and what I've found and trying different things regarding mental health. But I wanted to share this with you and share what I've found works best for me, moving my body, making sure my body feels good, and giving it all the things it needs. And I hope this has inspired you or give you some ideas to help you in where you are with COVID. If you're in a winter climate, I apologize. And I'm sure it's substantially harder for you. I can only imagine what it would be like right now in a winter climate. I am very fortunate to be in a warm climate that I can go outside and walk and not feel like I'm gonna freeze to death or melt to death. So I am very fortunate and lucky about that, and I do know that as well. And I'm lucky to be in a place that I can do that. But I hope this kind of inspires you guys to find what works best for you. And whether that's doing yoga in your room, like when you get up in the morning or right before you go to bed. I've tried that, and that has been nice, but I like to move a little bit more. I just know that about myself and my body. And meal prepping isn't that hard. It's just taking a little bit of extra time to make and batch things. I found the boxes I showed you guys of where all my food is, I found those at Aldi for like $5, and I have 12 of them. They are a lifesaver, and they stack perfectly in the fridge, so I can just grab it and go. So look into those. You can find some really affordable things to help you meal prep. And I mean, you don't need to buy those. If you have some Tupperware, that's fine, but I like having the separate Tupperware so I'm not constantly using like the other Tupperware if we have leftovers from dinner or whatever. It's nice to have those that are designated for my meal prep, which is amazing, let me tell you. But I hope this has given you guys some ideas and ways to give yourself some self-love and your body some love that it needs, especially during this time. And let me know what things you end up doing and routines that you have for yourself that help you in this time and helps give love to your body that it needs. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit different, but I kind of enjoyed talking to you guys, and I added a little bit of Valentine's Day in my backdrop. If you guys haven't seen this video, make sure you go back probably 1 or 2 videos where I redo this whole backdrop that very much needed that. Make sure you follow me at Vanessa Adventures. If you may have noticed, I have been dubbing it over up until this point. That is because I changed my name. And I have a whole Instagram post about that. I may do a YouTube video about that as well, or a blog post or something. If you guys would like to know, let me know down below, but I do have an Instagram post all about why I changed my name. I changed my username. So everything is Vanessa Adventures. And yeah, feels good. Feels good to be in that realm. And make sure you give this video a like if you like it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you are notified every time I post a new video, which is every Thursday, but for the rest of the month of February, it is every Tuesday and Thursday. So make sure to hit that bell so you don't miss anything. All right, and until next time, bye guys.